So, Sandford. Now then, the reason we picked a Parkdean was really it's George's fault.
Come on.
To be clear, we got it to entertain George. We chose that to entertain George because
never did go on the go-kart.
Because they have primarily it's the swimming pools. They have an indoor and an outdoor swimming pool. Those were the two things that we were most interested in, and you know we were prepared for a lively sight.
But
and obviously, I mean, just to be clear, before you make any judgments about us, I have gone on holidays in places like Parkdean and Butlins and Pontins and Haven all my life, both when I was a child and when I had younger kids. So I am perfectly happy to go to a Parkdean or similar, but it was not a pleasant experience in the main.
There was this dog. There was a family next to us. They had a dog. It was a cute enough dog.
You're saying the word dog.
I know the dog.
You've got to take him off the lead.
Boy, come on.
Dizzy's asleep.
No, she's not.
Glenn's paranoid that we're discussing him.
No. We're not. Anyway, there was this dog. I'm sorry, Glenn. There was this dog next door with the family. It was a cute enough thing. Didn't seem aggressive as we walked by it, but as we were coming back from walking the dogs for the first time, look at these little creatures. The dog, I realised it was off the lead. I said, "Mum, dog's off the lead. Don't they know that's illegal?" And it came up to poor little Dizzy girl, and they were sniffing each other's butts, all the dog ritual things, and then it jumped on her. I think it was trying to play.
It was
possibly trying to play.
The staff,
but Dizzy will not. Dizzy would not take that. She was just all up and on, and that was the day we swore eternal hatred to that dog, because every time we walked by with our little babies, it will come at us, and even when we weren't walking, it will come round. This is my story. It will come round. So we had to put a barrier we had a wind barrier, and we had to put a barrier across it, and that even didn't stop it. It came round and it was like just where the dogs were eating. It just came round and just sat there. It was extremely annoying. So
it was not on the lead at any point.
No. So we asked them, didn't we?
I mentioned it.
Well, he mentioned it because me and Mum are wimps. And they still didn't listen. But they did leave halfway through the trip, so we did get to enjoy it with mini golf. We went to the pool a couple of times, indoor twice, outdoor once, and we saw a hornet. We didn't get stung, fortunately. I said fortunately, you know. And that is the end of our experience at Parkdean. Overall, all right. Not my style of pitching, but it was all right. Apart from that little annoying little rat.
It was the dog, wasn't it?
It was the dog. It was the dog.
That was the most immediate.
Yeah.
My first impression when we turned up was how huge it is.
It just seems to go on forever.
There's a touring. The larger part is the static caravans, of which there must be hundreds, I'd have thought, or 100 at least. And then off the top end of the site then is the touring, which is sort of separate but linked. And it took us long enough just to get around the road system to get to the touring reception.
You were halfway up the site by the time you got there, weren't you?
And it was just there were people everywhere.
Yeah. I think your experience of that sort of place previously perhaps wouldn't have been an August experience.
No, it probably wouldn't.
Yeah, but it was just heaving. And you could hardly walk safely on the site. let alone drive, because there's just kids everywhere on bikes and scooters, little young kids, and kids on go-karts that you could hire there.
First of all, look at the staff, because we've got to be clear about this, is that my overall feeling is that it will suit some people at Stamford.
I like the staff.
It just didn't suit us.
The staff were
The
nice.
staff were universally excellent.
Yes, they were.
We played
fair to say,
ping
isn't it?
pong.
Yep, staff were great. Really friendly and helpful.
Yeah.
They did, however, put us on the wrong pitch.
Yeah, so the pitch...
We paid, how much was it?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
We paid for a
Lots of money for a big
meadow.
pitch. A meadow.
What's called meadow pitch. I mean, they're not. No, we paid for paddock.
Oh, that was right. It was a paddock, and we got put on
And we
the
got put on
meadow,
what they called the meadow.
something like
but
that.
It's not remotely a meadow.
No.
They were quite dirty. There was no evidence at any point of any staff coming around
No.
to clean up or anything the pitches or even check on them.
No.
So,
Exactly.
for example, they'd have found out that the dogs, more than one dog was off a lead. They were also, the worst part of it was they were too close together. They were fine side by side, but they were too close. The rows were too close together. Both the roads were too narrow to make it easy to manoeuvre your caravan in and out.
Oh, but you did do an
But also-
excellent bit
well,
of
thank you very
parking.
much.
You really did.
But
Even the
also-
man next door said, "Gosh, that was a good bit of reversing."
The people behind us, I imagine there would once have been hedges along there, but they've all long since gone. And so the car behind us was literally 3 feet from the back of our caravan. So when he turned his car on, it stunk the caravan out. But it also meant we could hear, they would stick the local radio on, and it would be on all day, thumpity 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 thump. And then if it wasn't them, it would be some guys with jet skis a bit further over, turning their jet skis on and on their pitch. But the biggest problem for me was that the main problems were caused by groups where they were block book pitches in either in a row or more often in square
A
groups,
cluster, yeah.
either opposite each other on corners or whatever, and they just don't give a monkeys.
Like the jet ski guys, because there was two opposite each other, really big setups, lots of big family, and these two jet skis, and they would come back at the end of their day on the sea and flush through their jet skis, revving them up for
and then
half
the music
an hour.
would start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was just,
dreadful hip hop music. I hate it.
You can feel free to call me a grumpy old sod, but that isn't why we go caravanning. I was not expecting a quiet side. I want to be quite clear about that. I knew I sort of thought I knew what we were in for. It was a family site and I expected there to be greater noise than we're used to. But that would have been fine, have been compensated for by the facilities. But actually, on the second day, it was a case of we would have gone out anyway, but we couldn't wait to get out just because you felt trapped by the noise.
You were just surrounded
I
by...
understand, it's busy time of the year, so it's going to be strained. But it was a bit of a mess overall.
And the pitches just weren't looked after. There was nothing... The facilities were looked after and clean and maintained, but the pitches... There was no maintenance there at all. There hadn't been.
You may say, why didn't you complain? Well, it would have involved complaining about the entire site because there was always music coming from one direction or another.
Yeah.
But all it would have required was a member of staff to just go around and tell people to turn it down.
A big member of staff, I would have recommended.
Yes.
But we did talk to the office.
All lots of ones.
In a constructive way, and said that we hadn't had the greatest of experience and that we had been put on the wrong pitch.
Mind you, we are talking over hedge noise at the moment, but there we go.
If we
but
would
that's
have put on the right
maintenance.
pitch, if we would have been put on the right pitch, we wouldn't have had to deal with all of that stuff.
Well, we
It
might
may have been a little quieter if we
might
had
have
Right, the
actually
been.
dog.
been
We
on the
wouldn't have had
paddock.
to deal with
I
the dog,
would-
the poor puppy dog. Or Dizzy.
I would go there in a static, and
Yeah.
particularly
Oh yes, that is
in the
Statics
quiet
fine.
looked
season.
lovely.
because
Yeah.
they look fantastic.
Yeah, they did.
So just for complete transparency, we paid, so that you're aware of how much these things cost. We paid about £230. We stayed for 3 nights, 230 quid. Now 30 quid of that was for the dogs. Are you having a laugh?
Really? No. Are you joking?
No,
15 quid
30
each.
quid.
And for what? There's no cleaning going on.
No.
Exactly.
What possible excuse is there for that other than to just rip people off? And then £10 for an awning.
Yeah.
Really? Extra money
Which
for an
again,
awning?
it didn't make
It
any
worked out at
sense.
£75 a night. I've stayed in hotels for a lot less than that.
That's so much money.
And on top of that, just to make matters worse, was that, okay, now we didn't use the entertainment, which would have made it better value. The pool was included in that, but the crazy golf wasn't.
No.
We were really surprised to find that was extra, and neither were things like the go-karts. They were a tenner. Go-karts,
£5
tenner
for a
hour.
single one.
Well, it would have been a tenner for us to go together for an hour.
It would be more than this.
So there were, and also the arcade
£13.
was less enjoyable than I'd hoped.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Because it
it's
really
so
just emptied
hot.
our pockets of money.
It was
I
so
mean,
hot in there, wasn't it?
Some of them were alright. The ice hockey was fun.
That was alright, yeah.
And the basketball. Those were the only ones.
But even that, with the basketball
bowling
one, it was
wasn't
we
very
would
good.
do £2. It lasted us about 10 minutes.
Bowling didn't look great. But we didn't try it, so we don't know.
So, I don't know. I'm sure it will meet. Sure it will suit some people, but you have to
Yeah.
be bloody tolerant.
And I also think that that kind of site is probably more aimed for families who have children younger than 7,
Yeah,
because a
absolutely.
lot of
That was
the
the evidence, wasn't
activities that you could book were for 4 to 7 year olds, weren't they? Like
Yeah.
the jet skis. I was eyeing up the jet skis on the
Oh.
pool, and obviously you wouldn't have been able to go very far.
I
in a-
would have loved to go on those.
5 years ago, 6 years ago.
I would still love to go on them.
But they were for up to 7 year olds only.
Oh, hey, Mum. I'm almost
So, yes.
007. 007.
Well done.
Our experience, just looking at everybody else, most of the kids were in the younger. I can understand. You can get up to. They allow 8 people on a pitch. So it's a bargain for a family, I would think. But you've got to be prepared for what you're getting. It isn't what we do caravanning for.
Yeah.
No.
So we're going to give it our ratings. We're going to start reviewing every site we go to.
Really?
We are.
Sick, dude.
At the moment, I've only made up these categories. They may change as we go on. But if we look at
Yes, we might
location,
forget what we've put on previous ones.
so location, these are scores out of 5.
Yeah.
I gave the location 4 out of 5. It is
Yeah.
a lovely part of the countryside.
Parkdean?
No, where it is in the
Parkdean.
where it is.
Wait,
The first one.
Are we
First one.
are we rating the actual place?
No, where it is in the country.
Oh.
We give it 4 out of 5 for where it's located because there's lots of things to do around there. It's
Yeah.
a really nice part of the country.
Yeah. How about we each
The
give
facilities,
individuals?
well, you can do what you like.
Right, cool.
The facilities
I agree.
themselves, which the toilets and such like, were actually pretty good given how much use they were getting.
Well, now that
I
I've
would
seen,
say they were, yeah. We'll
now
come
that
to-
I've seen the ones here, they're
Oh, well,
amazing.
absolutely.
Hotel.
We'll come to the
they're
review of here.
Amazing.
We're reviewing Sandford at the
Yeah, I
moment,
know.
though.
All right,
But
I'll
they
give
were
it a 4.
fine. They were certainly on a par with the camping and
With
caravan
the
club
rating.
and caravan club sites we've been to.
Actually, I'm going to, because you've said that you give facilities 4 out of 5, I'm going to bring that down to a 3 because at one of
What's it
the
done then?
washing up areas there was never any hot
Yeah.
water, and I had to wash in cold water and then come back to the van and boil a kettle and wash everything again.
Okay, 3 out of 5.
3 out of
for
5.
facilities.
No hot
Staff,
water.
4 out of
4
5.
out of 5, yeah.
They would have got 5 out of 5 were it not for the cock up on the,
Yeah.
and then the slightly unbelievable reason that they don't see what we've booked. Yeah.
So we should have said when we arrived, we've booked a paddock
We just
pitch,
gave them the email,
which
showed
said paddock pitch.
Well, things to
but
do.
apart
though.
from that, they were excellent. A lot of them were very young, but they like the poolside attendants were
Yeah.
very good, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they were
Lifeguards,
fantastic. Yeah,
always alert.
really
The
helpful.
staff, top hole. Value
Yeah.
for money, 3 out of 5. That was a lot. Had the experience been better, I knew I was paying £75 a night. I didn't like paying the extra for the dogs, but nevertheless, I'd bitten it and was going to do it. But I wouldn't pay to go back.
No.
So the experiences are. So that was 3 out of 5 for value for money.
Things
Because
to
you know
do.
you did have the swimming pool, which was very good. I give the
Progressing.
experience as a whole 2 out of 5. Not somewhere I'd return to. I might well go back in a static, particularly quieter.
That'd be
quieter
nice.
view.
I'd love to do that.
And overall, for me, 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
I give it a 3. That's mostly because of the dog.
Yep.
I hated the dog. Did a couple of songs. Recently learned the solo to All My Loving by the Beatles. It's hard, very hard. And I give that experience a 5 out of 5. So
Yeah, that was fun actually.
that was pretty good.
And you got some applause from
I got some
lots of
applause
girls
from
going by.
some teenager girls. That's right.
They kept swinging by on their
That's right. Groupies.
what are those bikes called?
Go-karts.
On the go-karts, clapping as they went by, not steering. Rather dangerous.
That's
Yes,
right.
that was nice. So
It
it was quite
It was pretty cool.
from that perspective, it was quite relaxed there.
Mm-hmm.
It was only, to be honest, it was only when we were actually at the Caravan that it was a problem, and the touring
Then-
site was where the problems were. Yeah, it was just too many people in too short, smaller space, and not enough people who'd give a toss.
Yeah.
So while we were there, we broke out our new teppanyaki.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like
We only
Thai
got
food.
apparently they come in large, extra large, and extra large. We got large, which is of course small, but it's big enough.
It's large enough for us.
So we don't have external gas here, and I just can't be bothered with a gas barbecue. But this is fantastic. It warms up pretty quickly, and you just use it as a big frying pan, really. I did bacon and eggs
And baked
the first
beans.
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then the next day, so we've used it 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah. We've
It's
hardly
good
used
for.
the gas.
It's
at
great
all.
for fried eggs. Great for bacon.
Yeah. And today I used it. I did garlic bread on it as well.
Yeah. And fried bread.
fried
well, it
bread.
was sort of fried bread come toast, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the garlic bread worked, and the mushrooms and halloumi we've done on it.
So that's been a triumph.
Very nice.
Fairly easy to clean.
And you
Yeah.
can fry directly on it,
yes.
or put a pan on it and use it as a hot plate. So I did both at lunchtime today.
We had bacon eggs, baked beans, and garlic bread. Delicious garlic bread. It was very burnt.
Excellent.
So was
And
the bacon.
while we were at Sandford, we visited Corfe Castle,
Yes.
Oh, it was a
fun.
beautiful sunny
which
day.
that was a
wasn't it?
lovely. We were so lucky that day with the weather. Less lucky towards the end, but
What was Corfe Castle?
The
What one was
castle.
that?
it's quite a long walk.
Oh
from-
yeah.
It's quite a long walk up from the car park, but it's a really nice walk. It's not like it's wasted.
No, it's a
Walking
lovely
alongside
walk.
a little river, and it is quite a climb up to the top. And by the time we got to the top, it was hot. I'd had enough by the time we got to the top. We visited Corfe Castle. I'd like to see a bit more explanation of the history of the place. I didn't really feel that there was enough of that.
Yeah.
On our way down, at the bottom, at the tea, we experienced the best tea room,
Oh
best
my
National
gosh.
Trust
Yes.
tea room we have ever been.
There were
in.
very
Yeah.
nice people there as
Jean,
well.
run by Jean.
Jean, hello Jean. It's
Hi,
brilliant.
Jean. She let me go to the baker's and bring back sausage roll and
'cause there wasn't anything-
I again almost picked up doggy ice
I
cream,
guess
but then
the
I picked
menu's
up real
fairly
ice cream.
limited by the time you get to about what, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And
Yeah.
then the funniest thing happened with Dizzy. So we thought we were still holding her. We thought we were still holding her. But then when Jean came back, she said, "Oh, hello, little puppy dog." And we thought, who could be more cute than Dizzy? And then we turned around. It was like, and Dizzy was just
Sat
Sure.
with another
Someone else's
family.
just
Yeah.
sat there.
So having complained about people allowing their dogs off the lead,
Oops.
Oops.
we accidentally let ours off the lead.
Yeah.
She must
Well, I
have
was
just-
on the lead. We just weren't holding
Well,
it.
she'd taken the lead with her.
So,
Yeah, she
we're not
has.
hypocrites.
So so there wasn't anything there that George particularly wanted, but so they allowed him to go to the bakery and bring something back to eat in there, which was lovely.
Yeah.
I had did we both have
We
a
had cream tea, yeah.
delicious
Really
cream
nice.
tea. They have like a monthly cream tea, a monthly scone. That's right, isn't it? And Jean and the other staff were just absolutely
They were
lovely.
Lovely, dovely, yeah, just
They showed you around, did they? Showed you where you, because George wanted to play music, obviously, but there was nothing to do there. And
yeah.
so
They
she was saying there is
said
a
they
place where you could do it, but
They
so
said
there was no
they
instrument.
could get a grand piano. Oh no, not a grand piano. An upright
An
piano
upright.
in the acoustic chamber. That's what I like to call it. That's what I call anywhere that it echoes. It sounds really good.
So we thoroughly enjoyed it and thoroughly recommend the tea rooms at Corfe Castle,
Yes.
the National Trust ones.
Yes.
And then,
Best National Trust tea room we've
yeah,
been in.
definitely.
Not
And
the best
Corfe is-
National Trust though.
Corfe Village is a nice place as well.
Yeah.
Could have spent more time there.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
So the following day we went to Kingston Lacy, which is again
Lacey
a
is the name of
national
my geography teacher.
National Trust
So-
site. not far away. That was nice.
And that
wasn't
was that was lovely. You couldn't look around all of the rooms that you usually can on the day we went, which was a shame because up on the top floor there are tented bedrooms and a schoolroom, and that part of the house was shut when we were there, which was a shame because I was intrigued to discover what the tented bedrooms might be. But absolutely gorgeous house and lovely setup of the bedrooms and the bathrooms because it was lived in right up until 1982 and then given to the National Trust. So there was like these turret bathrooms that had little spiral staircases going out of them for the servants to use, so they could just miraculously fill your bathtub for you. Back in the day, it was lovely, really lovely house.
You had a nice walk there. Obviously, I stayed outside with the dogs, reading, because I don't find houses interesting to look around at all.
Neither
so
do I.
me.
I just went in because there might be a piano, but we couldn't play the piano.
George came out once he realised there was a piano, but he wasn't allowed to play it because I don't know. But what was interesting, above the fireplace in Kingston Lacy were the keys to Corfe Castle, which were very interesting because I was sort of expecting, a little key bunch. Well, maybe big keys.
There were massive.
But there were like 40 keys there, all on boards. Lots of keys.
They were like.
And
It was the
big.
Banks family, was
They
it?
were like as tall as like Mum.
So, yeah.
Okay, not
Not
really,
quite
but
that big.
I might be exaggerating.
Well, they ran out
Yeah,
just a little
of
bit.
jacket potatoes in the restaurant, so it ruined my day.
Oh.
Oh,
We had to
So-
have another cream tea. It was very
Yeah.
traumatic.
oh
So that was
Yes.
Kingston Lacy,
Mm.
and then with great relief, we then packed up the following morning and left Sandford
Yes.
for where we are now.
and you will hear all about that in the next video. My name is George. This is Peter and Kevin, and we have
case you've
been
forgotten.
Clueless in the Caravan.
Bye.
You ruined the ending. And Glenn? Oh, he's outside. Lenny!
He's here. George, he's here.
Ah,
Can you please hook him back on? We do not want to suddenly find him chatting to the Jack
carry on,
Russells.
I'm coming.
Thank you.
Right, we're nearly done with this one now,
Yeah.
so let's just focus.
Just focus and be succinct, please. I've got a little other one next bit to do yet.
He wants to come
How
up.
long's
now.
that been there?
I just put it there.
No.
I just put it there.
No. Oh my goodness.
Amateurs.